Okay, so advantages of the object orientation approach. The first is realistic modeling. Realistic modeling means, suppose uh, like, do you know how to make tea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me the process first. What to do?
So half cup tea, no, half cup milk, half cup water, sugar and tea.
ଗୁଳି ଦେବା ହେଇଯିବ
Tea leaves.
ପ୍ରୋସେସଟା କୁହ କେମିତି ହବ
No, sir.
କେମିତି ହବ ଫାଷ୍ଟ?
So first milk or water,
Okay.
then sugar, then tea leaves.
ମାନେ ଫାଷ୍ଟ କ'ଣ
Boil,
କରିବ?
we'll boil them.
Boil the water
Yes,
or
sir.
milk,
Yes, sir.
then add the tea leaves. Okay, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମକୁ କୁହାଯିବ that you go for to make tea, then first of all you have to go for collect the ingredients. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Like you have to search for the tea leaves, you search for the sugar, you search for the what you can say what some milk, sugar, tea leaves. Okay, so that means what, when you assign a task to make a tea, your first task is you have to collect the ingredients. Okay, first you collect the
Yes, sir.
ingredients, then uh, after collecting the ingredients, then you make the tea. In a software development part, when you assign a project, suppose a company is coming to you, so this is you have to do the software for me, so you accept it. Okay, so when you accept the what you are telling that is I am ready to develop a software. So that doesn't mean you come and directly write the code. So first of all, it's just like when you are going to stitching your dress सिलाई करी पिंच केबे?
Yes, sir.
So first we purchase our what pieces, color pieces, then we go to the tailor and we choose the design that you have to go, that you tell the tailor that you do this kind of design. Okay, then tailor is analyzing based upon your design the required amount of cloths are available or not. If the cloths are available, then the tailor is cutting the cloths, then stitching it, then deliver it. First the tailor is analyzing for your design, the design you are choosing, based upon your design the required cloths are available or not. Then the tailor is taking the measurement, then is cutting the cloths, then start stitching. Realistic modeling, it is used to model the real world. Okay, means when you assign to develop a project, the first you analyze what is the requirement of the customer. So based upon that, you are analyze or analysis the information and you deliver it. That is called as the realistic modeling. Reusability, it allow to reuse the existing class and object. It's saying that, like, when you purchase the mobile phone. Okay, so when you are purchase the new mobile phone, what you have to do with the mobile phone? First, how you design your mobile phone? मोबाइल फोन किणु फास्ट आम कौन करूँ?
So first तो on करिया ताकू.
नहीं, आमे मोबाइल टाको आउ केमते अट्रैक्टिव करि परिबा?
So wallpaper, ringtone.
Okay, physically that is a software related thing. How you have to physically change?
So cover.
Yes, good. We add the back cover. We add the screen guard. Okay,
Yes,
to
sir.
avoid the what like scratching. Okay, so that is what that you we are telling us it is a reusable. It means by adding, if you purchase the Oppo mobile phone and you add the back cover of Apple, so that doesn't mean your mobile phone is converted to the Apple. Okay, so for giving a good look and feel, we add this cover. Reusability is just like that. You have to add the new feature on the existing software. So you are creating a software, and based upon the customer requirement, then you add some kind of new feature on it. It's just like that. When a curry is prepared in a home, so you, if there is what some kind of blackness in the taste, we add some kind of salt, we add some kind of what like masalas, so to make it tasty. And see that in our home generally we reuse the food. Okay, suppose we are preparing the dinner, and in the dinner, suppose the what the roti is not fully used. Okay, so that what happened, that roti if it is what the remaining part of roti you can use in the morning by adding what like some kind of egg you have to add. So you make it as a roll, veg roll, you can make it as a non-veg roll, you make that roti as a paratha, so change the flavor. Okay, so that means if you add that what some kind of you make it or you add some oil, roti has not changed, but its what taste has changed. Yes or no? So रोटीटाକୁ ଆମେ ରୁଟି
Yes,
କହିବା,
sir.
କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ଯଦି oil ଟିକେ ପକେଇଦବା, so that means what it makes it gives a different flavor to us, so that we can easily take it. And generally ଯଦି ଏତେ ଜିନିଷ ନାହିଁ, so we have to just again what re-prepare it. We are boil it. Okay, can I say boil it? We make it as what again ଆମେ ତାକୁ କଣ କରିବା ନା ଟିକେ ଗରମ କରିଦବା, so that it is
Yes,
make
sir.
us it gives you the what like fresh taste. Okay, reusability is just like that. When you develop a software for a customer and customer is wanting some kind of changes, so you make the changes over there. So by adding the new feature, your software version has not changed, you are in the same software version. Okay, but it's some kind of feature is changed. Like when the Windows 7 operating system coming to the market, so first it comes in the Window Basic. By adding some kind of feature in the Window Basic, the Basic is converted to the Professionals. Okay, Window Professional. So Basic is convert Window Basic. We're adding some feature and it becomes Professional. So by adding that feature, the Windows 7 is not converted to the Windows 8. It is in the same family, but by adding this feature, it gives some kind of what extra looks on that. Okay, so it allows the to reuse the existing application or existing object. Understood what is reusability?
Yes, sir.
Next is what modularity. Modularity is what? Now it is breaking down the complex program into smaller part. It is not possible for a user to do whole the task as alone. So it is not possible for a user. Suppose if I am giving a task that you go for develop a software for banking application. In the banking application there is a different modules are there. like RD account, loan account, credit card, debit card management. So if I am giving all the tax to one user or one employee, that you have to manage all the things, that is not possible for that person. So that all the departments are divided, and it is the work is divided into the multiple people, and each person is responsible to do the specific work. The modularity, it allow the object to be maintained independent of each other. Like we have one module like student, instructor, venue, training schedule. Okay, so that is what different modules. So we are creating a application for the student management database, and it has changed. Like for the student, it is changed. For the instructor, it has changed. For the venue, it has changed. Then and the training schedule is one other part. So modularity is breaking the complex program into a smaller part. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Then next is flexibility to change. In the flexibility to change, it allow to create a new class. Okay, it allow to create a new class. The new class add the feature to an existing class. That means you add the new functionality, like it is a just like a conversion of Windows 7 operating system to Windows 8 is called as the flexibility to change. It allows to create a new class. A new class add the feature to an existing class. So you add the new feature on the existing class and you have to create a new class on it. So that is called the flexibility to change. That this one. Okay. We
Yes.
have a old car, now we come with a new car. When we come with a new car, in the new car some color is present, shape is present, sound is present. Okay, and in the new car we have remote control and flashlights. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the next is information hiding. Okay, so information hiding, it allow the programmer to limit the access to information. Okay, so it is not possible, it is not possible, um, like what you can say, when you are going to the dress shop, not in a shopping mall, when you are going to a dress shop and we're asking the person, the salesperson, that you have to show me, suppose I the t-shirt. Then the person is first, when you are going to the dress shop, the salesperson is asking what you want. So I'm saying I want t-shirts. Then the person is asking what is the size. Then what is your range between which that you want to purchase. So when we provide the required information, the person is able to deliver the particular thing on time. So that doesn't mean the other items are not available. All the items are available, but which item is relevant for you, that information the salesperson is only showing you, and which is irrelevant thing that it hide from the user. It allows the programmer to limit the access to information. Means those are the information is required for you, that information is delivered, and those are the information is not required for you, it is hidden from you. So that concept is called the information hiding. This information hiding is implemented in the two part, that is encapsulation and abstraction. Encapsulation means hiding the information which is not required, and abstraction means showing the relevant information which is required for the user. Abstraction means showing the relevant information. Encapsulation means hiding the information which is not required. So it allows the programmer to that all the thing is called as the information hiding. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So now I go for now comes to the Java programming language. Java is an object-oriented programming language that was designed to meet the need for a platform-independent language. Platform-independent language means you are writing a program in one platform, like you write a program in Windows operating system, and your program is run in the different operating system. So Java is an OOP language that was designed to meet the need for a platform independent language. Means you run your application in one platform, you develop or you write a program in Windows platform, and your application can run in the Windows, in the Linux, so in other operating system it will run. So Java is used to create an application that can run on a single computer as well as in the distributed network. Okay, so in a single computer you run your Java file, and in distributed network you can run a Java file. Okay, so Java distributed network means, so for creating any application we require the three part. Okay, so for designing any application we require the three part. What is it? Now first is your user interface, then your database, then you can say that is business logic. Okay, so first we require the user interface where you are going to input some information. Okay, so just a minute, I will show you. See there. For creating any application, we require the three part. First, we require the user interface. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's called as the user interface. Next, we require business logic. Okay. Next, we require database. First, we require the user interface where you give a input. When you are passing a input, your input is validated by the business logic. So if everything is correct, then it is stored in the database. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So based upon this, our application architecture is divided into three parts. So three application architecture is present. Three application architecture. What is that? One is single tier, another is two tier, another is n-tier application or three-tier application. So by using of these three, our application architecture is divided single tier, two tier, and three tier. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if your just a minute. If your business logic, user interface, database is present in one system, is present in one system, it is called as single tier architecture. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, if in the two tier architecture, in two tier architecture, there is a separation concern. One is your client, another is your database. Okay. In your client,
Yes, sir.
if user interface is present, and in database, sorry, here it is called as a server, client and server. In server, if business logic and database is present, then this is called as fat server, thin client. Fat server, thin client. Okay, it is called as the fat server, thin client in two tier architecture. Next part is if your the fat client, one is what? Fat client, thin server. Next is fat server, that I am given an example, that is fat server, then thin client. Okay, now in fat server, thin client, if your in user interface business logic is present, and in server database is present. So it is a client and it is server. So in server, if your database is present, then it is called as the fat client and thin server. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And next is we're using 3-tier architecture. In 3-tier architecture, all are separated. So there is a 3 parties present. So in client, we're using user interface. In server, business logic is present. In database server is present. In database server, database is present. Okay. So in
Yes, sir.
client, user interface, in server, business logic, in database server is present. Clear?
Yes, sir.
It is called as the 3-tier architecture. So by using of Java, you can create an application using 3 type of architecture.